So it's been some time since we've done anything with the fantasy draft on Madden 23, and, we're pretty decent at that whole fantasy drafting thing, so we're going to see what it's like to rebuild a team drafted by the AI. Obviously, you guys have been asking about an updated fantasy draft guide for some time now, and usually I do one at the beginning of the year, maybe near the playoffs, and then one for the Super Bowl. I think when every team, not every team, I think it's like 5 or 6 teams, the most teams in 1 week on the year are going to have a bye week. That's probably when I'll do it, maybe like the week before. I'll right when they're doing the roster updates, then I'll do it, because then it'll give us like a 2-week kind of window where at least then it's purely accurate. Shouldn't change too much with a couple upgrades here or there, but if I did one week like 7, then it would be out of date by like week 10 or 11. But if we do it, around that time, that bye week where 6 teams aren't playing, maybe they'll be a little bit more accurate than, normal. Of course, we'll definitely do one for the playoffs / Super Bowl, but maybe throw in middle of the year as well. But let's get into this fantasy draft, see what team pick we have, which is 30. Rodgers goes at 29. Kind of curious to see which quarterbacks are even left, if there are any. Brady is an option. Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, Tua. It'd be nice to have a Jalen Hurts or Tua rebuild. We haven't had anything like that. But as far as like what I would do with this pick if I was actually drafting, I would actually maybe debate Aaron Donald even. How old is he? 31 probably? 31. I mean, that's still usable till 35 probably. Cornerback. You have Marlon and Denzel and Lattimore, pass rushers, not at right outs, left out. I'd maybe go with Crosby or Gary, but kind of curious to see what they do. Wide receiver, maybe. A.J. Brown is, pretty decent. He's not superstar yet because EA is who they are. Metcalf's gone. I'd probably go Jamar Chase here. I think I'd go Jamar Chase, but we'll see what they end up doing. We'll probably look at the first couple of picks and then, sim it, see what we're rocking with. Pick 30. Headed on to pick 3. Tua to the Rams. What did our team land? Jonathan Taylor. First round running back, not the best idea in my opinion, but 23-year-old X Factor who has it all isn't really somewhere that you can technically go wrong. So Nick Chubb, 98 overall in the game. Wow, he is kind of busted, but I definitely would go Chubb as well. If I had any choice at a running back in the game, that's who I would go as well. But let's move on to the next pick. I think my picks would have stayed true. I would have went with some sort of pass rusher and then cornerback. A lot of picks have gone by. Let's see what they went at 3, which was Mike Evans. How old is he? 29. I don't know if that's a really good pick, but I guess that's what we've got. Wow, okay. Interesting. Going heavy on the offense, the skill positions, if you will. So, not the worst call. Denzel Ward is still there. So is A.J. Terrell. Any pass rushers? Rashawn Gary and Crosby are still there in round 3? This could be a very interesting updated guide. Crosby and Rashawn Gary on the opposite sides of each other is probably something that I would probably do. Let's see who we got at pick 30. Please tell me they got one of them. Jesse Bates. That's not a bad pick at all, actually. 25 years old, 91 overall. One would debate maybe even the best pick of this draft for this team. Minka Fitzpatrick went slightly after, but let's see where they go with pick 3. Back-to-back picks is nice the moment you're taking them, and then once you got to skip to like 2 rounds later, it's like, maybe not. And with the other pick, they went with Darius Slay. 31-year-old corner when I would imagine Denzel Ward was on the board. Yikes, dude. That is a bad pick. At pick 30, they go with Tremaine Edmonds. It kind of seems like they go young, old, right? Like they went Taylor, then they went Evans. Went Bates, then they went Slay. Went Edmonds. Let's see what pick 3 is. Oh, I guess not. They went Aiden Hutchinson. That's a pretty decent snag as, our pass rush situation wasn't looking great there for a moment. Fair enough, I guess. I'm kind of curious when they're going to actually go quarterback, though. And they go Gesicki. That's not a terrible choice either. The value there at tight end was probably insanely high. How many teams, even in the league right here, don't have a quarterback? Is there anyone decent here? Malik Willis, Ritter. You gotta land Ritter or Willis, surely. Maybe Corral. Like, there's no way. Like, what's the best? I guess there's old. Damn it, we're going to have an old QB. Give me Geno or something, dude. Geno back on the Seahawks here would be interesting. Let's see, what do they go with? Orlando Brown, not a bad choice either. I mean, it's, it's going to be a CPU draft, so, I mean, obviously you're not going to have a perfect draft. I've definitely seen worse. Oh, God. I get at that pick, it's not terrible, but really, Harrison? I mean, I guess a late round 9 old safety. He's a 91 overall, I get it, but like, wow, that is something. I don't know what you do with that. Surely that had to be a QB, right? They end up with Jermaine Johnson, a young guy with some development. Oh, he's 23? He ain't that young. Damn, okay. And I'm addicted to looking at these picks now, but this will be the last time we look. Kirk Cousins. I mean, as far as a one-year quarterback goes, the man is mad accurate, but that's kind of the point. He's a one-year quarterback. And then the last one I was going to look at, Shaquille Griffin. How old is he now? 27? It's not bad value for where they selected him, but yeah, I mean, there was definitely some positions they could have done better on. Wait, did they actually land a wide receiver since we were here? No? Oh, yeah, Mike Evans. I forgot. Whew. Let us say, you need at least one, buddy. Please give me one. I will say, based on overall, though, definitely the, higher than we normally would do. And, of course, I'm going to just be simming this, and we'll see what we end up with. I don't know why, though, but that was, like, mad, like, fun to watch for a little while, wasn't it? I don't know. Ooh, a mentor rookie. Right away, baby. Who's our backup running back? He's probably about to be a damn superstar. Although these sometimes are wide receiver, but usually the EA does what they do. Like, I'm literally about to lose this scenario because the game froze, or I don't know. Or we're back in, and at least it didn't break. All right, I guess our backup running back's going to be... Was he not already at least star? Or he was already at least star? It's a little weird. 81 overall. That's not a good sign. We're lower than our opponent. Wide receivers, wow, Braylon Edwards, or Brian, I don't know why I said Braylon, not a very high overall, but star development trait still, so number 2, I don't know what trait is, but it's going to be our number 2. Wow, we just completely, what do we, just bring in the entirety of the Miami Dolphins offensive line? Not good, but I will say, if there's anything you're going to skimp out on me, EA, I appreciate it being the offensive line. Not the hardest position to draft in, well, the draft, but would have preferred if you got me somebody at the quarterback position. Ooh, a Quanquo. Nice. The speed on the man. They got the sleeper. And then, of course, with the way this looks, you can tell that a lot of the picks were used on defense. Let's see what kind of defense we landed up with. Darius Slay and Shaq Griffin. Interesting. The DBs are kind of set. DTs really suck. Linebackers could use some help, but Baron Browning, kind of like, I'd rather build him as like a pass rusher, but don't know if we have that option. They're kind of like, let's use him not as that. I kind of want to trade off Jermaine Johnson now, if everyone's cool with that. I think I'm going to trade off Jermaine Johnson for something, not sure what. Everything else, though, we're going to keep intact. So we traded Jermaine Johnson, Robert Quinn, and Troutman for Joke and Nakobe Dean. That's it. That's the only trades we're making, at least for, like, right out the gate. I want to at least see, what kind of happens with the AI's decisions, but I like what we did there. The players are good. It is what it is. Oh, it was only normal to start? Ah, come on, man. Well, I was going to be trading Aziz Al-Shair for Blackman and Manhurts. Probably going to release Manhurts, but need a safety for the future. He's 25, that linebacker that we got there, and Blackman maybe starts a year or two from now or just never plays. We'll find out. So we're not having a good year, and that's not really the timing we are hoping for, as we have an old quarterback that is going to regress hard, yet he's a good player. So, where do you go from here? Jesse Bates, obviously you're going to pay. I do like the fact that it's not like, the same every time like it used to be, where you would just have like 5-year $50 million deals for everyone. Aiden Hutchinson, we're just going to have to bet on that he's going to be good. So a 7-year 75 is pretty good for us if he turns out to be good. And then Brian Edwards, I think, is worth a 4-year deal here, worth like 20. I think that'd be perfect for both sides, and it is. Anyone else? Don't really care about those fellas. It was AJ Jackson. I thought I said Austin Jackson. Kicker punter we probably will keep, but outside of that, everyone else will be Cameron McGrone. And if you like jokes like that and you want to keep coming by, maybe subscribe. Wouldn't hurt to leave a like if you want. You can always take those things back in the future if you're some kind of bad person or something. So we finished with that pretty bad record. However, we beat the Rams, which seemingly lost us 2 draft positions minimum, maybe worse. Let's take a look. We would have been potentially like the second team. We did have a lot of points for, but we potentially had the second pick overall. Instead, we have pick 6 now. Gotta love that. That's fun. But regardless, I suppose finishing strong is a cool thing or whatever. Kirk Cousins numbers, pretty Kirk Cousin-y. Jonathan Taylor, was he worth a first-round pick with those numbers? I don't know. I don't know. But Mike Evans, decent. Brian Edwards, almost mixed their names together. 12 touchdowns, 1,100 yards, not bad. Mims, not terrible. Gesicki, kind of bad. He was a pretty high draft pick for him to play like that. Same with Orlando Brown, really bad numbers. 21 sacks allowed. Tons of tackles for the 2 linebackers there. Sacks, Hutch and Browning, both 9.5, but they are young. Fair enough. Milton Williams, 6 sacks. Raekwon with 4.5. Their tackles for loss weren't crazy great. Pick totals, some numbers here, nothing crazy other than Slay with his 5. Jake Elliott didn't really play that well, so I didn't re-sign him. And then Gillikin, 53.3. He got a 5-year, 12, which is pretty good for him. Apparently, the kick returner was Brian Edwards. Rodgers wins MVP for the Cardinals, but he is they're 9-8, so I don't know if they're even in the playoffs. Maybe we've actually seen them. I didn't actually pay attention. Any award wins for us? Hutchinson, Rookie of the Year, will take that, which makes him a superstar, I believe. And that was it, sadly. The Colts and the Falcons in the Super Bowl. The winner of this one is the Falcons by a lot. Wow, okay, let's take a look at our DevOps. I didn't expect us to miss the playoffs because we had Kirk, who obviously he's a very good player, but he's just not good long term. Sadly, Edwards is not a superstar, which is a mad L because he played pretty well. But yeah, Kirk Cousins, normal development traits, super L there. DevOps for Edmonds and Hutchinson. I don't know if Williams or Raekwon were both star. I know Davis was. I would also assume Milton was also star, but Edmonds, superstar, and I didn't even notice it, but Nakobe Dean, star development trade as well. Pretty nice win there. So linebackers look to be pretty set down the line. A lot of other positions that need to be filled, though. Oh, yeah, Slay went to X Factor, which is actually huge for, his age. I don't know if he regressed already or not. I think he started as a 94, so he might have already. That's massive, but still could use a corner. Definitely could use DT. Safety, maybe, but Blackman's in place. I kind of want to compare Harrison here to our Harrison in the Vikings franchise. Hey, he's got 86 speed! Bro! Ours is 85! Oh my god. O-line, you could almost argue that all 5 need to be replaced. So if we can get a good trade for Orlando, if he's not super locked in, or locked up, if you will, I may do it, but there's some pieces here. Obviously, quarterback we're going to need very much so, right now. And I think, I didn't even notice it. I kind of want to just do the Seahawks because we're, Seahawk-heavy content this year. I forgot they have extra draft picks. Normally we go with the teams with less draft picks. Good thing, though, is Denver was one of the top-performing teams, so it's not like we get crazy value back. Might even have to use most of that to get a move up or a trade up if the quarterbacks suck. Past 3. Oh, they now decide to whip Julian Blackman out there for re-signing a little late. Still going to do it, though, but yeah, a little late. Almost lost him. Still could, to be fair. His interest is low. I don't know if he's going to be the option now, but a 4-year 18? Whew, that could have been risky because the value was immense there, and we would have had to let him go to free agency because otherwise the tag would have been 15 maybe. Free agency could be decent. Oh, it is, but those names are going to get a lot. AJ Cole, don't really need a punter. Trent McDuffie. It's kind of a future need rather than a now need. Edge, I think we're set on. There's some options here, though. Let's make sure we don't miss anything. Quarterback, definitely not an option. These guys are pretty much the same as what we already have. So we offered Trent McDuffie a 5-year, $65 million deal. And I thought we had 2 offers. Did we not? Oh, we went for Wyatt Teller, and he just didn't sign with us. But Trent McDuffie is definitely worth it. I'm going to put him as our number 2 right out the gate. 82 man coverage, 80 zone coverage out the gate. Super, well, maybe not super fast, but athletic enough. Star dev. He's only 22, which is just, that's basically like landing almost generational in the draft, pretty much. I mean, it's a very high overall at that age with the dev. It's worth it, I think. And of course, in turn, we still have a lot of money anyways. Didn't get Teller, but the price is up there anyways. So, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise, especially if he's going to play badly, which, once again, I still don't know how it works. Like, does having a high overall offensive lineman help you play better, or is it really just sacks allowed? Because if it's sacks allowed, then, man, there's no point in paying linemen at all, because almost all the linemen, good or bad, they all pretty much perform the same in the game. In sim, at least. All right, so I'm curious to see what the teams ahead of us have for quarterbacks. So, Panthers, Vikings, Eagles, Lions, Dolphins. So Panthers absolutely need a quarterback. Vikings, maybe. Eagles, definitely. Dolphins do not. Who else was in there? The Lions. So, okay. They got Kyler. So, I mean, in theory, there shouldn't be many quarterbacks that go here, but let's see. This should be a QB. It is not. I think this should be a QB, right? Okay, Eagles. Okay, let's relax a little. Okay, I mean, it seems like we got a quarterback. We have a choice between quarterback even. That's how lucky we are here at quarterback situations. So there are 2 quarterbacks. There is Brendan Kent, who looks way better, and then there's Stephen Lowry, who is a 2-3 talent grade, 22 years old, elite. Oh, that was elite strength. Throw power is great. I mean, is it really even a question at this point? I think pick 6 is Mr. Kent. He's 21 as well, and he's massive. His throw power is great as well. Brendan Kent, welcome to the squad. Hidden development trait, 92 throw power, and the new starting quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, also late 30s. Where the hell is Gesicki? Like, he's not even at tight end because he's playing guard, apparently. What the hell? We're going to pick 27 of the first round, which I believe there's 2 defensive linemen, but are they 2-3s? Where the hell are they? Aldridge's a 2-3 and Wofford's a 2-3, and I think, even though they're 2 different style players, I think I'm going to go for both of them, so let's trade down. The best realistic offer we have gotten was the Rams, which includes pick 36 this year, which is what I want the most, kind of a high second-round pick. Pretty much going to go back-to-back on the DTs here, and I think with us in 4-3, I'd prefer to get some proper pass-rushing DTs, so we're going to start this one off with Wofford, who is a tackle, a power move, pretty solid, very athletic, hopefully hidden, and not hidden, normal dev. Now, if these guys are both normal, it's going to be weird because I've already kind of had a plan to trade the 2 DTs we have off, but if they're both normal, like, are they even the guys? I don't even know. But positional need, let's grab them both. Perry Aldridge. This guy, at least, is hidden. Very athletic, super block shed, but pass rush ability doesn't look great. I think we are still going to move on from the 2 DTs that we already had. We also do have a bunch of linemen. Obviously, Looney we want. I think Cameron I also want. I mean, kind of just going for all the centers, really. We make a quick little trade with the Bears, trading a 6th round next year, moving down 59-72 to gain that 4th. Which, even though he's lower than the other guys on the, expected to go list, I am going to take Looney first, I think, as, I mean, even though he's got a DCD, his talent grade is up there, right? It's up there, so I'm going to go with him. Daniel Looney, hidden development trait. He's not the strongest, but once again, he had that 1-2 grade. I mean, he's obviously worth it. Pick 8. I'm kind of wanting to trade back a little bit now because we could use the whole offensive line, but I don't think we're going to get the whole offensive line if we have to pay all these, if we, have to take these guys early. So the dream would be for Burton to go before all these other guys. If we landed Morales, Cameron, and Martin, I think that would be the perfect draft. We're going to trade back with the Raiders to gain 80 and a 4th next year. Damn, Morales went, dude. I'm pissed. Let's go to the Dolphins, trade up, because we need to land some linemen anyways. Might not be the lineman I wanted. Can we do like a 4th, 5th, 4th. They do have that 3rd round anyways, so they have an extra 3rd round pick coming up. We are going to be taking some sort of lineman. I don't know who's exactly there, but Manuel Morales seemed like a very good center. Cameron's still there at least. Burton is iffy, but Cameron's definitely worth taking. So Mr. Bradley Cameron, another 22-year-old, another hidden development trait player. Looks off the rip better than the guy that we had. So Mike Burton looks like a really good pass blocker, but everything else looks awful, dude. Obviously, Martin looks like a god, so I'm going to take him early because day 3, once again, could be a 4th-round player. So Lance Martin, also hidden development trait, a little bit on the weaker side, but was that 3 hidden development trait linemen now? So we're now in the beginning of the 4th round, and this day 3 linebacker is still there. It looks great. Daryl Irving, big, fast, good coverage, apparently, and we're going to take a shot on him. And he is normal, but he is really good. 88 speed, 89 excel, 80 change of direction. And in this, is this the 5th round? We're going to go with Dalton Timms, who looks really, wait. Elite speed, good excel, good agility versus elite speed, elite excel, great. Yeah, we're going to go with him, even though the 40 times less. 96 speed, 95 excel. Yeah, I think he's more balanced than the other guy is going to be. I kind of want to take a look at the other guy, but he might be gone. I really can't be bothered, like, keeping up with him. Yeah, I'll just take him, too. Why not? We don't have any more draft picks after this. Dalton Timms, normal dev. Yeah, I mean, it's 97 speed, but every other rating was worse, so we were smart, but we ended up with both anyways. All right, let's take a look at the draft. Surely some of these guys got to be good. Oh, they're all pretty damn good. The ratings, other than the linebacker, are all 70+. Let's take a look at Brennan. 6'1", 22 years old. Pretty raw route running, but the deep route's pretty good. The release is decent. Catching's a little iffy, but super speedy. As far as the quarterback goes, 74 overall. Obviously, he's going to star for us. I kind of want to just take a look at the dev just so we can compare him to the other guy. We had a chance at both, obviously. I think no matter what the devs are, you had to go with this guy, though, right? Damn, star. Damn, that's a little bit of an L, but it is what it is. Wofford is a higher overall than Aldridge. I'd imagine a lot of these guys are star, but let's take a look at the quarterbacks. Here goes Flaherty. What's his name? Bill Flaherty. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Normal dev. Oh, wow. Okay, so they sold. The other quarterback went at 11 to the Bengals. Also hidden development trait. Also looks pretty good. A little bit faster as well. What is that dev looking like? Watch, it's going to be like X Factor or something stupid. Of course, superstar. But, I mean, once again, our guy looks great, and you can't really blame it, right? Our guy looked better, had the higher projection, had the better ratings. I mean, there's no way you... Wow, okay, so the Packers just did a bad, although he is hidden. He's decently fast. He has bad throw. This, I mean, the head's looking a little weird. This is giving me, like, Jalen Hurts vibes a little bit here. What's his dev? Star dev. Little Jalen Hurt vibes, but I would not go for him. 23 as well. That throw power, no shot. So I wonder if we can get a decent wide receiver. Christian Kirk. Damian Pierce is kind of fun. Breece Hall. See, this is why you don't go for a running back, because now, like, we can't do anything about it. Mekhi Becton is an interesting name drop. Trey Hendrickson. That is a high overall player right there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. We might have to go manual on this, because I want a good wide receiver. I just don't know who. Javon Holland? Wow. Okay, so some of these offers are kind of busted. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to actually stick with Amon-Ra St. Brown, but Kirk Cousins and Kinley were both green. Had Evan Neal there, gave him the 2nd-round pick, and the rest is history. So decided to trade Amon-Ra St. Brown, Austin Jackson, and Reynolds for Devontae Smith. We trade Flowers, Raekwon Davis, and Rasul Douglas for pick 35 from the Eagles, and I believe that is going to conclude our trading. So Season 2, obviously less bronzes, which definitely is going to help, hopefully, down the line. Obviously, we were kind of thinking that year 1 maybe was a chance to maybe win it all with Kirk. Doesn't end up being the case, but obviously a lot better on the offensive line with Neal there, and then 3 rookie, apparently these guys are brothers, 3 rookie linemen to go with. I don't know what their devs are, but probably star. Well, I say that, but been seeing a lot of superstar development trait centers, and I think 2 of them were centers. Martin was a guard already, but I think 2 of them were centers already. Obviously, the tight end position's back to normal. And then defense. Obviously, a lot of potential here. Maybe DT1 needs to be replaced. Cornerback, maybe one of these guys needs to be replaced. Slay, I don't know how long he'll last, even though he's an X factor now. Linebacker looks decent. Smith, is Blackman the guy? I don't know, but he's a cheap backup if not. Definitely a better outlook, yet still really early in this. Ooh, a speed upgrade for Nakobe Dean. Clearly needs it. 91 now. Who, speaking of, has a contract offering him a very large sum of money, but not really when you consider how much it could cost if we went with a shorter-term contract. Also, you might notice the next 10 minutes or so, the video is going to be a voiceover because the starting of a 2-hour recording, I must have bumped the USB cable and it wasn't recording audio, which is great, of course. Speaking of great, sorry, even though I like Harrison Smith, he's always a burden on every team in franchise because he's expensive and he never lasts more than a year. And he is pretty much announcing that he's retired after this season. Of course, a pretty good year for us in general. Great numbers for the rookie quarterback. Jonathan Taylor, really good numbers. Of course, looking at the receiving game, can we please? Who is this guy? What are you? I'm trying to guess what I was saying. Damn, the backup numbers suck. What's even the point? Of course, Devontae Smith, really good numbers. Edwards and Evans, decent. And Gesicki with an upgraded season. Of course, blocking Orlando Brown. We should get rid of him. Let's just be honest. Aiden Hutchinson, great year. Aldridge, pretty damn good year. Browning, down year. Wofford, kind of expected as far as the interceptions go. Trent McDuffie, decent. Slay, decent. Some okay numbers, right? Bass, I don't know about Bass. I don't feel it. I don't know if I think we should keep him around, to be honest. Of course, MVP of the league, Lamar Jackson, Zeke, as well with the Chiefs. Later on, I forgot that this was a fantasy draft rebuild, and for some reason, I went on a 1-minute rant that I hopefully don't forget to edit out about, wow, the game's IQ of re-signing players is so bad. And then I realized my brain just exploded. But of course, you can see here, down by 4 against the Packers. 3rd down, trying to come back and win this game. Flick of the wrist to Mike Evans, stumbling down to the 24-yard line. 2 timeouts left. 2nd and 4, running on the clock. Over the middle to Edwards, down to the 2. 10 seconds left, 2 yards to go. We have a timeout. What are we going to do? Looking for the throw. Kent. Under pressure, has him, but misses. 6 seconds. 1 timeout. Running the ball. Taylor, short. 2 seconds. From the 1. What do you do? Run it again. Short. Again. Jonathan Taylor's overrated. No shot. We lost to Geno Smith and the Packers. There's no way. I don't care if it's a fantasy draft, whatever. The fantasy would be that Green Bay can actually beat Seattle. Freaking believable. Looking at DevUps, Kent is a superstar. Devontae Smith is an X factor. Pretty good season from Kent. Obviously deserving of that DevUp. Obviously he would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year as well, and you get automatic upgrade in Dev based on that, let alone the touchdown to pick ratio, all that good stuff. Anything else? Oh no, was Dev? Oh yeah, Devontae did go up in Dev. I don't know why I would have thought he started at Superstar. Superstar development trait, really good season with 20 touchdowns, which is insane for a wide receiver. And then defensively, Trent McDuffie with a dev up, definitely worth that contract with a season like that. Darius Slay, not the worst regression, to be honest. He's getting up there, and the game hates when people get old. I mean, who doesn't, obviously, but yeah, not terrible. Speaking of not terrible, that tag for Mike Evans, $20 million. Not that bad, so we're going to re-sign him with the tag at least. Debate on re-signing him after this season. And then everyone else, pretty much just backup level talent that we don't really need to keep. Chase Young, though. Baron Browning, down season. What's the future look like? Probably need to re-sign him anyways. Chase Young, look at those seasons. That's a guaranteed beast. And of course, with that being said, we are going to offer him a 4-year $100, and we're going to land it. Huge, huge addition to the team. And with that being said, trading off some players here, maybe overtraded a little bit, but Orlando Browning for Mekhi Becton and a 3rd-round pick. Now, looking at the draft, kind of just drafting future replacements. Don't really need any true starters right now. And Jimmy Robinson looks like a pretty good future corner. Hidden development trade, decently fast. Change of direction is pretty good. You know, CPU corners are usually pretty bad in that change of direction stuff. Trading a 5th round pick to move up 4 spots in the 2nd round to grab another DB, this time a safety. Kind of thinking maybe that'll be a starting player at the strong safety spot. Hidden development trade. You know, Harrison Smith retiring, and of course Blackman. Even though we paid him kind of a longer-term cheap deal, his zone's not that great. He's on the older side, so I think that was a good decision. Offensive line, you can never have enough offensive linemen. Leno, hidden development trait, 92 strength. Very good player there. Now, late 3rd, looking for a trade. Get a 4th and a 5th round this year from that. Kind of doing a lot of trade downs in this one. But Charles Davis, interesting name, hidden development trade. Little on the weaker side, but another hidden development trait lineman. Can never go wrong with one of those. Needed a backup. I'd seen Brian Cook, and I got confused. I don't know why I thought he was the running back Cook. It was not James Cook. It was the safety. Didn't really need the running back, but Sutherland looks pretty good. Probably better than our current backup, so there's that. Of course, speedy wide receiver. You know, we have to draft 1 or 2, and we get one in Fulton, who's actually kind of on the bigger side, especially for like a speed guy. The Vikings with a 4th round draft pick offer. The Titans with a 4th round draft pick offer. And then in the 7th round, we needed a new kicker. Elfman, what a name. 95 kick power. 24 years old, which definitely is a little on the older side, but it's a kicker. Who cares? As far as our overalls go, you can see that running back I seen in there. 77 overall. Really? That's kind of crazy. Ricky Scott, hidden development trait, looks decent. He is star development trait. I think every single player was star development trait in this one, except I believe for the guy we're looking at right now, the running back, Jaron Sutherland, who is just a backup, so I don't really care too much. But as you can see here, superstar development trait, which is kind of busted. Taking a look at our roster now, we have the lineup set up, and it's a good team. I mean, I feel like we have kind of underperformed a little bit in the playoffs, but overall, it's a team that is one of the best in the league, and the quarterback superstar development trait's still super young. 79 overall, could be like 85, 86 by the end of the year if we're lucky. And the defensive side of things, adding Chase Young, losing Harrison Smith, but getting someone that's young with development as well. And here you can see us looking at, Blackman's future. It's just that ceiling is pretty maxed out. 77 zone for him, whereas Scott, I believe, was like 76 zone, and there's like 4 or 5 years in difference there, so it makes sense. Mike Evans asking for a 3-year $60, which is ironically enough cheaper than we actually offered him a previous year, and he didn't take it. Tremaine Edmonds, nice contract re-signing there. Devontae Smith needs a contract, but, grand scheme, that's not crazy money. Just considering how much, his overall is, what his age is, it's pretty cheap considering. I've seen like 4-year 120s for most like X-Factor wide receivers, and he's pretty much that even if he's not physically there. Joke, huge contract, which is really hard to sign in a regular realistic rebuild, but in a fantasy, we don't have to pay a quarterback either, and a lot of contracts are cheaper, so we pay him 12-5 season. Not bad at all looking at how this went, and kind of didn't finish the strongest. Started kind of weak, finished kind of weak. I don't know with what that leads to in the playoffs, but hopefully a better, run of it than the other years. Kent, very good season, another really improved one. Of course, Taylor, less touchdowns, but still a really good year regardless. Sutherland, not bad even as a backup. Backup numbers are usually pretty damn bad in Sim, but that's not bad. Of course, Devontae Smith killing it yet again. Should be an X-Factor. Gesicki might go to Superstar. Evans, paid him a 2-year $40, I believe, and not the greatest season, but once again, still good. Mekhi Becton picking up right where Orlando Brown left off, which was bad. Of course, sack totals, look at Chase Young go. Aiden with a little bit of a drop-off. Wofford, not bad, but Chase Young, my man. Of course, pick totals, pretty good, especially for Slay. Kicking the rookie. Insane. Only missed 1 kick out of 20, and it was blocked. Which, once again, those are not really his numbers. I mean, I guess in real life, a lot of times the block is because it's too low of a kick rather than just pressure. Mahomes, the MVP of the league this time. And you can see our quarterback is on the MVP list, but Lowry, the superstar, isn't. Rookie of the year for our cornerback who played the slot. Best quarterback goes to Kent, which is pretty impressive. Sophomore year, Jonathan Taylor's on the list. Devontae Smith, number 1. O-line is on the list, but only one of the guys. Chase Young at number 2, which kind of crazy. Aiden Hutchinson at number 8. And, we had some guys all over the list. Some actual wins, some guys just on the list. Elfman got super snubbed on the best kicker list, but starting off this playoff game, not great. 24-10 here. Offense is doing nothing. It's 31-10, 31-17. Defense does its job, though, giving the offense a chance. Nice couple of plays here, but a 4th and 11 from the 12. Of course, looking at this kind of crosser, it's going to be Edwards. Can he do it? He can. Nice push upfield, and then last second breaks it clean, which is beautiful. 3rd and 4. Throw to the outside is going to be short, and it's going to make for a longer field goal. If they don't hit this team has a chance. However, he hits an unbelievable kick, putting them up now by 10. Simming down the field, but of course the AI just wasting that clock like no one's business. Perfect throw over the middle to Gesicki, who gets up there with that huge 6'6 frame. 1st and goal from the 7. Clock is stopped. Taylor in for the run. Finally decides he can get some yards for a touchdown. And on 2nd and 7, wow, what a video game. Look at Darius Slay. What is he doing? He's a 90-plus overall X factor. It's clearly a run. And yet, he just lets him go. Of course, that would pretty much be the game, which is super disappointing. Of course, looking at the numbers, some sacks both sides, some interceptions. Nothing crazy, though. Super disappointing. How is Darius Slay playing that bad at his overall? How? How is that even possible? Of course, DevOps, Gesicki, Devontae Smith. Nice upgrades there. Nothing for Kent, which honestly a little surprising. Best quarterback award, 42 touchdowns to, 5 interceptions? It was ridiculous. Probably could have been MVP. Defensive DevOps, I don't know if I see one here. I don't think there was, sadly. So a little bit of a lost season in the DevOps department, at least on defense. But a 90-plus overall, coming off of a decent performance. Oh, no, DevOps for Jimmy Robinson. I forgot about him. And free agency, could use some free agents. Sadly, though, not really the kind of free agency we're looking for. Pretty weak. Pretty weak. There's not really much going on here that would help us. So kind of just going to ignore that and keep our money for potential re-signings we need to make on our own team. Of course, Jose Wilkinson with the speed of a champion. Looking at that position for the future. 99 speed, 97 excel. It could be a future replacement for Mike Evans. Probably will be the number 3 anyways. And speaking of replacements, Gesicki needing a contract. Taylor Campbell looking busted. 6'6", 4'48", 40. And, I think you just got to take him. And with 86 speed, 86 excel, hidden development trait, you can't really go wrong. I thought he would have been a little bit faster than that with that 4'48", but I guess not. Speaking of another 4'48" here, 88 speed, 90 excel. It's just 4'48" to me seems like 88 to 90 speed. He had 86 speed, 86 excel. I don't know what the hell's going on there. The quarterback that we drafted was trash, but the DT was actually hidden. But hidden and trash doesn't really matter unless you're like a superstar or X Factor, which he was not. Jose Wilkinson, I believe, was star development trait. Great release, solid route running deep. Everything else a little iffy. Obviously athleticism, but that kind of goes without saying. Campbell, very solid player, and believe it or not, superstar development trait, which of course is a little bit of a shocker to me. Makes it very easy of a decision to let Gesicki go. God damn. All right, Season 4 roster. Quarterbacks in 84 overall. We have multiple receivers with 90-plus overall, and then we have Wilkinson, the speedster, maybe ready to take over for Evans at any time if he decides to regress hard. O-line keeps getting better. Real question is, can we afford some of these players? Becton kind of seems like a guy that we'd be willing to let go. Neal, I'd like to re-sign. Gesicki, I'd probably let go as Campbell's a superstar. And then defensively, it's a pretty damn good unit, obviously. It's going to regress soon, so I would almost see this as the time to win it. But EA has been a little rude to us this rebuild. And, it's a lot of RNG, which we don't have a very good amount of that. So, $70 million. got a couple of superstars to re-sign, so we pretty much knew everyone we had to re-sign. Slay, though, that's the guy I've been worried about because I think he's going to retire on us. He's going to retire as a good player. He looks like a damn god, but he's going to retire as a good player. It seems Evan Neal has played pretty well for, how tackles usually play in the game. Mekhi Becton has not, though, and I don't want to pay him nearly 20 per if he's not going to play well. Gesicki, can't pay that much for a guy that's not going to last that long. So like I said, maybe down the line, it's still a good team, but if we can't win with this squad, I don't think it'll ever happen. Back in the playoffs, but once again, a little shaky at times, and 11-6 with both teams nearby us in the division at 8-9. Taking a look at the season, really good, and then you kind of 2 straight losses, and then we did finish out strong. So, I mean, I guess we finished out better than we started in the end anyways. Also, the name is Pete Caroline. It's like, Pete Caroline. Yeah. Look at the quarterback. The worst picks so far of his career. Touchdowns aren't great, but it's because of that Jonathan Taylor fella. Absolutely insane. Evans pretty good. Wilkinson pretty good. Devontae Smith is weird because I didn't change anything in the scheme, yet everything's changed. I don't know. Blocking was better than ever. Of course, Mekhi Becton only allows 8 the year we're letting him go. Sack total 16 for Chase Young, 13.5 for Wofford, 7 for Aldridge, and then Aiden Hutchinson has been regressing ever since. 7 sacks only, which is really bad for him. Kicker was still pretty good. Not as good as last year, but still pretty good. And Wangway with a kick return / punt return touchdown. Lamar Jackson, another MVP in this rebuild. Got the Offensive Rookie of the Year in Wilkinson, best running back, and that was it. But hey, award wins are nice, even if it's just 1 or 2. The playoffs, 94 overall now to the 87 overall Falcons. This is literally the best it can get. This is where we're playing against a team whose one of their top 3 is a kicker. Justin Tucker's great, but still, it's a rainy one. Going up against the Falcons. Somehow, in our Rams rebuild, tons of Super Bowl trips with a pretty mid team. This insanely good Seahawks team struggling to even get close to the Super Bowl, but maybe this is the year as we are locking them down hard. 40-41 to now 13. That's a pretty impressive win. Look at the numbers. Peaked hard with 5 interceptions. Holy crap, that is a very bad performance. Jameson Williams is apparently a Falcon. Ayuk, man, they're free agency / re-signing. Wow, joke. Ain't joking around there. I'm sorry, these puns are terrible. Chiefs with a massive win over the Titans. Holy crap, it was like 56 to like 30 something. The amount of scoring in that game. 7-all. Halftime score of 14-7. They get a nice touchdown to start the second half. We bounce back with one ourselves. We stop them. They get 3. Offense is really struggling here. The defense is doing what it can. I mean, how much do you want this defense to do? And then you throw a pick. And the defense still has a chance. 4th and 6. They're going to go for it. The defense having to try and win the entire game here. This is absurd. And wow, that was a really good play. That was an insane play, dude. All right, I don't know if they're going to go for this. Like, I don't know why you want to just kick the field goal. But they're going to throw it. And he's going to fumble! This game is flawless! We win the game on a fumble when all they had to do is run the ball, kick a field goal, and give us less than 20 seconds to work with. What a game. Nice. Sweet, dude. Awesome. Mac Jones, quarterback for the Buccaneers. Our quarterback was ass. Any other numbers? Man, it really pisses me off seeing numbers like that. Like our guys struggling against a way worse team than us. But oh well, one way or another, we're in the championship round, and we're going against a 12-5 Giants team that's only an 84 overall, yet we're a 94 overall, and we're playing at their stadium. Rebuilds this year have been a bit of a pain, not going to lie. Sim has been atrocious. Of course, you can see here, we can't score on this 84 overall team, finally getting on the board. It seemed like the Steelers were also in the Super Bowl over the Chiefs, which is really surprising, but once again, with free agency, you just don't know. You really don't. 21-12, close game, and that should be it, as we are now headed on to the Super Bowl. Jameis Winston, keeping it close for a while there. Kent, not great, but definitely better than last week. Couple touchdowns on the ground as well. Sack totals. Aiden Hutchinson, though, has been eating it up in the playoffs. Wow. Beat his season total in 2 games. All right, headed to the Super Bowl. It is the Steelers after all. 94 overall. Maybe get one little notch to 95 before it's actually game day. I don't know, but they're a 90 overall, which is the highest we faced by far. Looking at DevUps, it doesn't appear that we had any, but the team is just so good it doesn't even matter. And then defensively, Wofford goes up in Dev, and Bates also goes up in Dev, which is pretty sick. How good is Wofford anyways? Is he the block shedder, or is he the... No, he's the power move guy. Pretty sick. Not bad at all. Looking like a god. I mean, here we are, going up against the Steelers. Chance at the Super Bowl here in year 4. As, I didn't even see their, did they, who the hell did they beat? Oh, I'm so blind. What about the conference? How did they win this one? The Chiefs were smoking teams. I guess they just, a lot of rushing touchdowns in fairness. I was looking through the things, and I don't remember how much I mentioned of it, but like, this is why you don't do crack, kids. For some reason, I completely forgot this was a fantasy draft rebuild, and I'm just thinking, like, why are the teams so different? Oh my god, that is a complete lapse. Wow, okay. Wow, they got an X Factor tight end. That's pretty scary. All right, here we go. My brain may hurt, but hopefully we still win the Super Bowl. Huge rushing touchdown, probably by Jonathan Taylor. 10-7, still 10-7, 10 all. Huge touchdown before half, which could be the decider in this one. Although offense is really trying to give them the win. All the way down the field for no points. Wow, what a garbage Super Bowl. But a Super Bowl nonetheless, as we have won the Super Bowl with a team drafted by the AI in a fantasy draft. Of course, Kent was a pretty good quarterback. Wasn't as good. Well, I can't say he wasn't as good as Lowry because Kent's got a Super Bowl. I don't think Lowry does, but definitely, wasn't superstar out the gate, I suppose. But Kent did enough. He had some pretty damn great touchdown to pick seasons, and he was okay in the playoffs. Wasn't great, but he was okay, I suppose. Obviously, good enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't know what his actual numbers were in this one, but just in time to win one as well, because we're about to lose Slay. I can't remember who else we're about to lose. Mekhi Becton. Not that Shaquille Griffin really has played much in the last season or so, but about to lose him. Depth is gone there. And our 45-year-old quarterback has finally won a Super Bowl here. You gotta love it. Yeah, not a great game at all, but better than Herbert, I guess. Herbert got locked down. Run game was pretty good. Well, I say that, but he had like a huge run of like 50 or something. As far as receiving goes, Jacobs with the most catches on either team. Sack totals, Trey Hendrickson, 2 sacks for Chase Young. Not seeing anything from Aiden this one. Josh Williams with an interception. Kicking was pretty good. That rookie we drafted, 24 years old, he was kind of a G for us. But with that being said, I suppose that's going to be the end of this thing, as like I said, we're going to be only getting worse, kind of, when we lose Mekhi Becton and Darius Slay. Obviously, Wilkinson is a superstar because of his Rookie of the Year award win, which is pretty sick. Short and medium route sucks, but obviously with his speed, I guess you want him to be a good deep route guy. I say that because deep route running doesn't really seem like something that matters in the game, right? It's all about speed when you're going deep anyways. Rather have short or medium good and just dink and dime your opponent all day than to, waste it on deep freaking route running that just, like I said, doesn't even really exist. Devontae's pretty sick. What about Jonathan Taylor? He starts off as such a good dual style. I mean, look at that, dude. That is just illegal. He's so good. Of course, looking at Kent now, 89 overall. Not bad at all. Very balanced. Short accuracy kind of sucks, but pretty good player nonetheless. See how the O-line was developed? 89 overall for this young man. Power blocking is terrible because EA just doesn't know how to freaking upgrade players on with auto-upgrading. This guy's good at pass blocking. I think they probably do just go after like whatever the best is for that player, and for some reason all the interior guys are just terrible at run blocking and at power blocking in general, which is, I don't know, just weird because they're interior. But defensively, let's see how good Aiden got. So he's in a 95 overall, definitely regressed over the last couple of seasons, but really, really good playoffs at least. Let's take a look at Chase Young now, who obviously was a very good overall when we got him. Was at a 4-year 100. That's worth it, though. Very solid player, and he played well every single season we had him, which is all we could ask for. McDuffie, that 5-year 60 or whatever we gave him, absolutely worth it. It kind of sucks that his speed never really went up, but he's obviously a very, very talented player. What else do we have? Robinson, he was the slot for a while, never really got a chance to start, but he's still super young, very talented. Give me McDuffie vibes if you switched man and zone coverage. As far as the safeties go, Bates has got to be getting to that regression age almost, 28, almost 99 zone. Wish that speed was a little higher. 89 never went up or something. I don't even know how that's possible with the upgraded points he had. Take a look at Scott, who's only an 80 overall, but he is only 22 at the same time. Zone coverage is better than Blackman's was ever going to get, so worth the decision on that one, in my opinion. Edmonds, the 95 overall superstar. Very fast, great tackling, great block shedding. I mean, that's probably one of the best block sheddings I've seen from a linebacker, and his zone coverage is good. So, Jermaine Edmonds, kind of a beast. Let's take a look at Joke now, who is, of course, no joke. And what's that block shed? Only 69, but 88 zone coverage. Everything else looks really good. And then I suppose we'll look at Nakobe Dean. Why not? Nakobe Dean, 80 overall, really isn't that great, but he's only 24. He's got time. Zone's pretty decent, but block shed is awful, so he is by far the worst of those players, and it's not even close, as expected, in fairness. But Aldridge, what is his zone? His block shedding? 90 block shed. Everything else is terrible. I mean, we got pretty much, you know, every single type of player you could ask for. A man corner, a zone corner, you know, a block shedder, a power move guy, block shedding linebackers, zone coverage line. You know, we got it all. And on top of that, a Super Bowl win. So if you guys enjoy this one, maybe leave a like. Maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PK Plays, for non-Madden kind of playthroughs, you know, story games, typically campaign games. And if you have any suggestions for a rebuild or some sort of challenge rebuild idea in the future, let me know in the comment section below. And I'd say the next rebuild would probably be a Saturday. Tomorrow, obviously, some sort of upload. I don't know how many uploads, maybe 2. I'm not sure. It's a damn holiday, relax. But that's about it. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video,